The lecture tonight is about hormones. And I have not decided when I made that topic how many hours I need, how many lectures I need. So I gathered all the information I have for 30 years on hormones and nutrition. I found out maybe about 1,000 pages. Then I said, okay, which was the most important, you know, so people don't go to sleep when they're listening to the lecture. So I figured, you know, I'm just going to do it the way I always do, natural way. I just talk about hormones in general, and then let you know how important it is. If you look at the human body, by the way, the next lecture is going to be on fatigue. You know, that is pretty demanded topic from lots of people. They want me to talk on that. So we're going to talk about that sometimes in the future. I don't know when exactly. What is the definition of a hormone? What are the hormones? If you look at the human body, made from organs, like the skeleton, you find the skeleton made from cells, and God has put in those cells capacity to do things for us. You follow me or no? They take calcium, they take vitamin D, they take silicon, they take phosphorus, they take magnesium, and they be strong. And in the meantime, they make blood, and they make white blood cell, red blood cell, and all of this. So you know that, right? This doesn't happen accidentally. It's just not like a child is born tomorrow, and you don't feed him, and he's going to be making bones. No, that comes when you give that person, the body, what it needs. What does the body need? Nutrition, right? All right, fine. What other organs inside the body that we see? There is one some people don't have, and that one also made of cells, and also need nutrients, and also hormones plays big function. If we don't have the hormone in the bone, erythropoietin, that makes the bone make the cells, and parathyroid hormone, and thyroid hormone, and DHEA, and estrogen, and testosterone, the bone will not make any of that stuff. Are you following me or no? This is why, if you have a bone problem, before the doctor say, okay, I'm going to give you this drug for the osteoporosis, I'm going to give you this. Think about the natural things you can do that you strengthen your bone with. And stick with the natural way the body is designed. Are you following me? So, because right now we see lots of doctors giving injections, you probably heard it, for osteoporosis once a week, once a month, once a year. And I don't trust this kind of things. Because when you look at the creation of the universe, which I do appreciate if everybody here have faith and believe in God. But some people might not, but that's okay. That's their choice, their problem. But if you look everything around you that was done with scientific way, calculated perfectly. So do you think the bone was going to be created with mistakes in it? You follow me or no? Are you with me or I need response, you know?
Yes.
Naturally it's going to be perfect, right? He is a Lord making Adam and Eve, right? Is he going to make mistakes? And then take a piece of clay and then blow his soul in it and becomes alive? A human? That has to be perfect, right?
Amen.
He said, amen. That's what we want to hear. The thing about it, whenever you're in trouble, go back to how God made things. Copy it. And He's with you. He guides you also. If you are lost in a field, you don't see civilizations, you don't see cities, you don't see any place, He's with you. When you're hungry, you're looking for something to eat, He will guide you to the river to catch a catfish, and you see the eel, the poison eel, and you will not touch him, but you will catch the catfish. Who taught you that? You follow me or no? You're going to see a plant, you grab him and eat him, and it's not poison, the next plant is poison. Who did that? So we are perfect. We made perfect. And anybody come to me and tell me, I have all these diseases. I said, so what? We can try to reverse some of it. After all, the healer is God, not me. But the issue right here, I want to say to you, please, pay attention whenever there's a problem in the bone, because the bone is the biggest organ in the body, needs lots of hormones. The bone, that's why I put it number 1. The brain is number 2, because the brain to think, just to think, it has to have about 200 billion cells communicating with each other every second with hormones to make you sit and listen and look and hear and feel. All of it's going on at the same time, and you don't feel the electricity, you don't feel shocked, you don't feel that. You know, it's like a furnace inside here. You follow me? And you know when you missed it? When you lose it. When you start having Alzheimer. When you start having Parkinsons. You follow me? When you have a disease like a stroke and it scares you, or MS that scares you, or LS, but you got to know this organ, the brain, is also curable and reversible. And we have proven that in pictures I have. This is just copies of the things I want to talk about tonight, if you believe me, which is not going to happen. But we distributed to you one page that shows you, when you go home and look at it, how estrogen is important in men and women in thinking, in the brain function. That's one page, it has a picture in the back. And the other has lots of information called DHEA, which is the master gland in the adrenal gland that make you happy and make you, you can almost cure anything with DHEA. And then that's why we give you the scientific things about that master hormone. And then when you read about it in there, nutrition is part of that. The young lady over there, she said, Maka, you will see inside these articles right there why the natural DHA you're going to get from sunflower seed oil or some whatever you get it, it has lots of work. But it doesn't work alone. You have, when we get to it, you will see it has to work with Shaklee like menopausal complex. It has to work with GLA. It has to work with omega-3. It has to work with all of this stuff and a lot more. So right now, I want to say, to make the brain function, we also need what? Nutrition. Then you can name it. You can go through the whole body and then see. Let me just get lucky here somehow and find a body that I can use. Isn't it terrible when you want something you don't find it? Okay. Yeah, there was I could actually draw it faster than I looked for it, but anyway, I do that. When we look inside this body in front of us, we'll find other organs important, like the skin. And I made the skin black because Adam was black. Why is Adam is black? Because he was from Africa. Where was he created? In Norway? In China? In Japan? You follow me? It doesn't work. We know where Abraham was, and Jacob, and Joseph, and Moses, and Jesus, and all that. It has to be the same neighborhood, right or wrong? So actually, Zubaydah, his wife, was from Ethiopia, was actually very dark black, you know. But those days, nobody really differentiated between black and white until the secularism came to Europe to separate the church from God, and they start becoming materialistic, and they figure we can go to a continent and then take slaves from it to serve us or occupy it, and we can tell them it's because you're black or you're Indian or this or that or that. Man is always find ways to fool people, but God cannot be fooled. You know, he can watch everything you do and everything you say. But in any case, the skin. Why is the skin is the most important organ in the whole body, in this second? That's the only organ made from cells that makes people like you or hate you. If you're old, you don't get hired because your skin looks old. If it's dark, you did different. You see, people judge people according to the color of the skin or how young they look. You follow me or no? That's unfortunate. Because if you are a medicine like me, that's not what you think. You evaluate your patient from inside out. You never pay attention to all the makeup outside. Because inside may be cancer, may be other problems much more serious than you think. So the skin needs to be taken care of. And that's also need nutrients. You know that. Most of you, so Shakli, you know these things, the beta-carotene and the zinc and the bioflavonoids and the Vivix and all the stuff makes skin great. Are you following me or no? Everybody here on board? Okay. Inside this body, there are other organs you don't see. Lung right here needs also nutrients. Runs on hormones. What makes a baby start breathing when he comes out of his mother, surrounded by water, and goes outside, and all of a sudden, open his mouth and then take air, and all the fluid in the lung is gone in 2 seconds. Because the lung was full of water. What happened? Because hormones that baby's making for himself got put there to open the lung. Hormones are important. There are also digestive system runs on hormones. The pancreas runs on hormones. The colon runs on hormones. The kidney runs on hormones. So there are about 10,000 hormones. But we can't take from outside 10,000 hormones. We can make it ourselves because they need nutrition. The first hormone I wanted you to pay attention to is the gland right here in the brain. What's the name of that gland? Okay, the pituitary gland. Okay, that gland is the mother gland. That it goes to sleep about 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock at night. It wakes up 5 o'clock in the morning. When it goes to sleep at 6 o'clock at night, you start yawning, and then the sun goes down, and you start feeling relaxed, and then you're ready to wrap the night and go to sleep by 8 or 9 or so. In the morning, you're asleep, and the room is dark and everything, but you get to about 5 or 6, and you still get restless, hot, warm, because this guy here, this gland here, sends messages. It has a telephone wire. This is a phone right here. Next to it's a fax machine. Or email. Yeah, it's email. And it will send a wire to a gland in the neck. What's the name of the gland in the neck? Thyroid. Tell the thyroid, make what? Energy. Right? Thyroid give you energy, right? So the thyroid start getting the nutrients together, the iodine and trypsin and amino acid and all the stuff you get from soy protein and the minerals, and make the thyroid hormone. And the thyroid hormone test the doctor does at the office is 90% inaccurate. The TSH is inaccurate, the T4 is inaccurate, the T7 is inaccurate. The only accurate one is T333, and nobody does it, except us, we do that. But actually, all the hormone tests from the pituitary or the thyroid or any other gland is covered by insurance, is covered by Medicare. They never deny anybody to know their hormone level. But the doctors like Dr. Oz, she was asking about there, when he talks in general without knowing the levels inside the body, that just show, you know, is not accurate. When you hold your results in your hand and you know what it is, you look at it and say, oh wow, look at my T3, my T4, my T7, my TSH, look at my testosterone, my DHA, my that. You know yourself, which one high, which one low. And when you start replacing it, and a year later you check it, I said, oh wow, this has got better, this did not get better, I better raise that. You follow me or no? That's how I work in my clinic. We have to be objective, not subjective. Objective means I got to show you what you got. So this gland here, they give us energy, but that's not the topic. We're going to talk about this gland, but this gland right here, it has an issue that if it's not perfect, that gland will give us problem. Such as, you can see on the screen. Can you read it or no? You can't? No. Is it not focused? Oh, it's small? Oh, okay, well. Move the table, maybe.
Further out?
Forgetfulness, slower thinking, irritability, depression, inability to concentrate, thinning of the hair, anemia, dry skin, brittle nails, cold intolerance, elevated cholesterol. So somebody have elevated cholesterol, what do they give them? Lipitor, right? But it may be thyroid. So before we give Lipitor, maybe we should check the thyroid. Ascites and also the eyelids swelling and inflammation, lots of things, muscle weakness and all that. That is that gland that we talked about. Behind it, in the other side of it, we have, you got to be fast. We have 4 glands, and those 4 glands called parathyroid. What do? They're tiny, as very, very small, and they control vitamin D and the calcium and the phosphorus in the bone. So, forget about vitamin D for right now, because that's not the issue I want to talk about. I want to talk more about calcium. Is calcium important mineral to us or no? Yes. Since thousands of years, we know calcium was important. When your grandma and everybody tell you, drink a glass of milk, eat some yogurt, eat some cheese, right? We human need lots of calcium. Why? We have lots of bones. But calcium is more than that. Calcium also goes inside the cell itself, and is involved in communication inside. calcium is so poisonous to the body. If it goes high, it kills you. If it goes low, it kills you. So because that reason, God put 4 glands in the neck, 2 right here and 2 down here. Just seems like if he doesn't trust you, if you had a stroke right here, then you have another 2 right here. And if you have cut him here, you have 2 down here. That's called the backup system. What does it do? Let us say this gland that needs calcium, maybe in the bone right here, like you said, needs some calcium to make a bone cell. So it wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Let us look at a bone cell. We look at the bone. This is a bone right here. And the bone marrow is inside. And the cartilage is outside right here. That's a bone. The bone cells, you said made from what? What did you say? Made from calcium, right? To stay strong, made from calcium. How does he get the calcium? Look at that out. First of all, you have to take the calcium from the stomach, from milk, if it's organic, or yogurt, or calcium supplement. And how much calcium? Between 2 to 4,000 milligrams a day, depending on the age. The older you are, the more calcium you need. Okay, let us say you swallowed 4,000 milligrams of calcium. And I said the calcium is double-edged sword. It can be poison, it can be good, like potassium also. So how does it work? Look, right in the intestine right here, there's a guy sitting right in this area, have 2 hands right there. Looks like this, he has no legs. And he have a little fax machine next to him. And he just got the message from this gland, the back one, not the top one, that we need some in the body, somewhat. Okay, let me explain something more. In the neck here we have 2 big arteries called carotid artery, right? We have the big carotid here, and they split. In this carotid, don't try it, because I could try it because I'm a cardiologist, but if you push it and you have a plaque, you're going to have a stroke. So don't touch it. We have a gland right here behind the thyroid. That gland have hands or long tongues and whatever. It analyzes the blood going back and forth. What does it analyze it for? For calcium only. 4 glands specialized looking for calcium. Then they realize you don't have enough calcium. The bone needs calcium. The heart needs calcium. The muscles need calcium, or they have cramps. The hair needs calcium, right? We can go on and on and on. So calcium is poison. So what happened? It sent this guy here a message. He got the message. It says we need calcium. This guy here will open the door and allow 400 units of calcium to come in. How much did you take, I said? And how much you absorbed? So you absorb what, 10%? That's right. It doesn't matter how much calcium you're missing, you only can absorb 10%. Because the body is not stupid. Body will not allow that much calcium to come at one time. It looks slimy, it looks like lime, it looks like stones. gonna travel in the arteries and clog the eye, clog here, clog here. You know, it's like milk. So the body is smart. Just take some of it. But if you took 1,000 units, how much you absorb? 100. So you need 400, and you got 400. This 400, this guy here will call the kidney. The kidney right here. Will tell the kidney, I just absorbed 400 units of calcium. And they could be poison. And they could clog arteries. They could precipitate in the arteries. They could cause calcification. They can cause lots of problems besides the benefit. You follow me? Do something about it. Then this here, guy here, his name is cholecalciferol. That's his name, scientific name. Vitamin D. A form of vitamin D. But it's not complete vitamin D. Then he will send a piece of him attached to this calcium right here, and he leave the area and go with it. Goes to where? Kidney. The kidney will combine two together and will make 400 and 400 and 2 calciferols, and we have a new compound called cholecalciferol. And that's not it. Then the kidney will send it. The kidney will send it to the skin. By seeing light, any kind of light, doesn't have to be sunlight, it converted to another form of vitamin D that's active for us. And from there, it will send it to the ovaries, or the testicles, or the adrenal, or all of them, and tell them, you make the hormones that carry them and put them inside the bone. So the ovary will make the estrogen, and the testicle, oh, I made it wrong, but it could be. This day that you don't know the difference anyway. So anyway, or make testosterone then, or the DHA comes out from the adrenal, and they all take the calcium and go to the bone and shove it in. Did you see how just one mineral, little glass of milk that you had to go through all night, and you don't know this is happening? Your body is being built. Your body is built, the bone is being repaired and built every 5 minutes when you sleep. So if you have somebody with osteoporosis, you my doctor, and I have osteoporosis, I ask you, can you give me some advice? What should I take to make my bone better? You tell me, take calcium,
Drink milk.
that's calcium, and take vitamin D, with it, and be sure your hormones, estrogen if you're a woman, testosterone if you're a man, DHA in perfect shape, and the thyroid, the parathyroid, then don't worry about it. Exercise and you'll be okay. You follow me? The other thing you can tell me, no, just take a shot, Fosamax, and you'll be okay. That's what they do. People who have taken do you know anybody who's taken Fosamax or the shots for osteoporosis? Anybody here take shots? You take shots, right? You know somebody who took shots.
I took a shot.
You took the shot.
The year one.
The year one. There's no problem to do it 1 year. But after about 5-6 years, There is so much calcium going in uncontrolled in that bone. So much calcium going uncontrolled that your heart left without calcium, your brain without calcium, your body, and the bone has lots of calcium, it's true. But you know what happened we see nowadays? The bone is becoming more brittle. So
reflux is advertised so much, it's horrible. I had such a reaction.
well, I'm really glad you documented that in the lecture, because I like to hear that, because I don't trust a human being. I only trust God. Whenever somebody want to sell me something, I said, what does he want in return? Especially if a salesman come to my office, well dressed, and give me gifts and gifts and gifts and gifts. What did I do to deserve all these gifts? Because I want you to prescribe Reclast or Fosamax to your patient. And they know me, I'm very funny and sarcastic. I said, how many people died from it? That's in front of the patients. I said, oh, no, nobody died. Okay, how many people have broken their bones? Well, I guess we got in the wrong office. And they leave. So they don't come to me because I would not push their product. But, believe it or not, I get letters from Bayer Company, from Abbott Company, from Licensing Board, from American Medical Association, to my office, that you do not use enough Reclast or Fosamax in your office or Lipitor, and we like to warn you that you're not practicing right. You know what? My family knows me. If you have faith in somebody, God with you, you don't fear another human being. What's going to happen is going to happen. You follow me or not? When that baby is born, and I tell that to the people right here who know some people who have babies who want to do abortion or want to take contraceptives and all of this stuff, all of that. It's really wrong, because everything born in this earth, animal or human being or anything, is born with its own, how do you say the word? With its own supplies to live on all his life. God knows when he's born, how much he's going to earn, where he's going to eat, where he's going to live, where he's going to die, how long he's going to be. Are you following me or no? So why I'm going to worry about a baby coming out, how much he's going to consume? Going to cry, so what? Baby will cry, that's fun. Okay, and if they are 2, that's better. If they are 4, that's even better. We had 9 brothers, 3 died and 6 lived. But I wished we had, my aunt had 21. And we loved her. She was next neighbor, and I used to laugh at her and said, so which one is this? She said, don't tease me, I have no idea. Because, she's a farm woman and they're wealthy and she just doesn't believe in contraception. And they all, 21, became doctors and lawyers and engineers and all. And none of them really had poverty. And I said they're wealthy. Wealthy in farmers, it has a different terminology, wealthy in the city. Wealthy in farmers, that you have bread, you have milk, you have cheese, you have honey, you are wealthy. Wealthy in city, you have a car, you have a house, you have a condominium, then you are wealthy with cancer. Yeah. So in any case, that's how this hormone works. And we have a picture of the thyroid hormone right here, and naturally the parathyroid hormone will be in the back of that. But this here indicates to you tonight that we talked about just one hormone that you don't even pay attention to in your life, called the parathyroid hormone, which causes osteoporosis, and estrogen and progesterone, estrogen and testosterone and DHEA and thyroid, that's involved in making good bones, plus exercise. Is that covered so far or not covered? You follow me? Let us move down to the main glands that are important to your life. we will put a diagram right here just to give you an idea how the glands all connected with each other. And you see right here, the pituitary is right there, but the mother gland is thalamus and above it. And they all send messages back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You see the arrows back and forth? All the glands communicate with the mother gland all the time. So when the mother gland works right here at 5 o'clock in the morning and sends messages, at 5 o'clock at night it gets response back, we had enough. Then it goes to sleep, then you start yawning because your dopamine, your serotonin, your adrenaline, everything is going down, and you're ready for to sleep for another day. Now the next gland we want to concentrate on, since you are women and men also, and we have to be sure that we are talking for sure about this one right here. Now that gland makes 3 hormones. It makes estrogen, it makes progesterone, it makes testosterone. And for a male, his testicle will make testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone. So you see, they both make the same thing. So when God says, I made Adam and created his wife from him, it's the same glands, except whatever he taken from one, he added to the other. She will have a larger breast, he doesn't have a breast. He will have a penis, she doesn't have a vagina. He have a gland, but they complete each other to create human race. You follow me or no? So men and women are not equal. They're equal under God. They're equal to get paid the same salary, but they can't be imitating each other. You don't go and build a breast that you look like a woman and do like that. This is silly. Or a woman do the same thing, wear a tie and a pair of pants and this and this and this, and walk to the office, sells women. I said, get out of here, Wear something feminine, at least I look at you. But anyway, there are this separation, this destruction we have in our society between male and female is designed to destroy us. The family unit is made from male and female, and kids and grandparents. And there is somebody who wants to break that family unit through pornography and TV. Have you seen, I never seen, what's the name, Dancing with the Stars, or the other called, what's the name of it? Anyway, they was talking about a program, Gloria something, she doing it and dancing, and they showed pictures in CNN. It's all like sexual acts. What's the name of the show? I forgot, because I don't want. Anyway, the TV is and the computer is a big enemy to our kids, because they tell you, thank you sir, they tell you, don't let the kids watch TV. What do you think I am? I need to go to sleep at night. I'm not going to be awake watching them all night. They're not, but they go through the TV and they find all of this evil stuff. And you hear about it all the time. Sickening to this innocent little kids. Innocent little kids. Kids are born, this is a kid in front of you right here, just been born. This kid born right here is what? What this part right here? The brain. The brain of a child is born completely clean from any bad information. It has only 6 informations in it dictated by the hormones that God put it there. It was born to eat and drink, and to sleep, and to defecate. And when he grow older, he need to work, make money, get married. And those things is called this is why we are human. You know, we need to do all these things. But in the meantime, we were told by the Creator, this is right, this is wrong. If you want to get married, this is how you get married. This is how not to get married. You marry to the opposite sex. You don't marry to the same sex. You do this, you do that. However, there is a movement on TV and computer, all that, to destroy our health, our faith, and our family. And we can see it happening here. Haven't you seen it yourself or no? Haven't you seen it, kids putting their parents in nursing homes, don't even see them for 2-3 years, but they inherit them? You follow me or no? So I told my kids, there's nothing you're going to inherit. I'm going to spend it all before I go. So take care of yourself. So, but how about this kid when he's born and he's in front of a TV when the mom is busy someplace and he see bad scenes? Whatever goes in doesn't come out. That's engraved until he's about 9 or 10. And you come from school and say, you know, my daughter did this, my son did this. That didn't happen accidentally. It's been happening since he was born. You as a mother allowed it. The father allowed it. The school allowed it. The TV allowed it. The computer allowed it. And then you blame the little kid for stealing a bike or stealing something or lying or this or that because you told him that. You follow me or no? What can he do? You do very good, just like I do. I have a meeting, and Tamara will tell you that. I have a meeting with my daughters and grandchildren every single week. I take 3 hours. The little kids, they come first. The older kids like him, they come after. He comes with his wife and his kids after. But the one who need more help, they come first. I tutor them in their classes. I listen to their problems. If the girl have cramps, she tell me about it. She's 18. If she have a love to some boy, she tell me. If she have something bother to, and the boy tell me, and I try to correct him by telling them, you are perfect. Somebody put this wrong information in your head, and you can erase it. You can be better. You can do that. Give them confidence, and that's what you should do with your grandchildren and children. Never hit them. Never criticize them. Never be negative with them. Always tell them, I know you're perfect. I know you're going to do it. I know you can. Even you just saw him stealing a bike. I know you didn't do it. The Satan make you do it. You don't do this thing. Satan, you know, that reminds me by Joseph, when his brother came to him in Egypt with their father Jacob, and they told him, forgive us what we did to you. His answer was, you didn't do it to me. Satan made you do it to me. Look at the answer from a boy who was in the well and became in Egypt to his brothers. You see, you didn't do it. Satan does these things. So they became the 12 tribes of children of Israel. They stayed in Egypt, 12, until Moses' time. And then they exited as 12. And then after that, they got corrupted. And some of them got better, some of them got worse. And anybody who gained something gained it. Anybody who lost it. And they're still waiting for the Messiah. I have bad news for them. Messiah already came. So they shouldn't wait any longer. Well, they don't like to hear that, but lots of my Jewish friends, they start listening. So anyway, that estrogen that you have now in your body, you had the estrogen when you're 12. And you start seeing sexual signs and nice hair and the breasts and all this stuff and interest in boys and all that. This is all built in. What happens if you grow to be 55 or 45 and you don't have enough estrogen? What will happen to you? If you look at this woman right there, you will see that estrogen, is that clear or still too small?
No.
You guys, okay. You will see that estrogen, we measure the estrogen, by the way. By the way, there are 3 types of estrogen. 2 can cause cancer and 1 doesn't. 1 can prevent cancer and 2 can cause cancer. So in our patients, we always encourage them to eat Brussels sprouts and cabbages and cruciferous vegetables because it has acetic acid that converts bad estrogen from pesticides to good estrogen that your body uses to enjoy. Are you following or no? So estrogen is good. You had it when you were 12 until now, but what happens if you don't have enough? The brain, right here, the study show. I don't want to read everything here. I don't have the time. It says right there, and it's going to be on the DVD right there, it says that estrogen prevents Alzheimer's. Estrogen prevents macular degeneration. Estrogen prevents heart problems, hot flashes, colon cancer, leaky urine, osteoporosis. This all studies been done about it. So shouldn't you be smart and then go to your doctor and tell him, I need to measure all my 3 types of estrogen. I need to know how much cruciferous vegetable I should take, and how much of the bad I have, how much of the good I have, what's my chances of having cancer. That's what we do with our patients. We measure it, Medicare pays for it, and insurance pay for it. We never had a problem. But, however, doctors have been telling their patient, you don't need it. That's really not true, because you do need it. I want to show you a couple of things that are very, very important. This one here about estrogen and progesterone and testosterone. This guy right here, his name is Victor Henderson, University of Southern California, doctor. He was treated that patient, she had Alzheimer's, and he did not find what to do for her, so he started giving her, look at the last paragraph right here if you can see it, he started giving her what? Hormones. Can you see that? Yes. Estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, growth hormone, so on, so on, so. When she had Alzheimer's, she was killed 2 years later in a car accident. They did an autopsy. They find out that her dead nerves, see that, became alive next to it. I'm really glad you said wow, because that's what I want to hear, this wow. Tell you there is another wow coming. This one right here. This is an MRI scan right here of different women. They have low estrogen. White is activity of the brain. Black is dead brain. You follow me or not? So these groups have less and less and less and less and less estrogen. And when we gave them the estrogen, we did the MRI, oh, look at the activity of the brain in the bottom. They got proof right there from autopsy and from real life. And from my own patients also. I know that my patient, God willing, they are 9 years of age, continue with the nutrition and the hormones and everything they're doing, and the ECP that we're doing for them right now to stimulate the circulation. I believe they will be living without dementia until they're probably 120. Can they go higher? You know, I know Noah lived a long time and Adam lived a long time, so maybe. But all I can say, I can see them and say hello to them and I give them a hug, and I know they look healthy to me. So I wanted to show you that these glands are very important to pay attention to.
Can I ask you a question?
No, you ask it in the end of the lecture. I will give you time, and I promise you, you will have some time. But let me just take care of the subject right here, because it's very important. About 10 years ago, I was teaching about estrogen in a college. Then I find this paper that I was teaching from about the bad estrogen and good estrogen when I was looking through my papers, and I said, oh, I'm going to take it to them and show them tonight. This is here my writing. I have a picture of it from a textbook. But if you look at it, you won't understand it like the one I did with myself. You see that there is the estrogen, the the name of the estrogen we have in the body called E1 and E2. Estrogen 1 and estrogen 2. Those estrogen, they go from the ovary to the liver. They don't go to the body, no hormones ever go to the body without passing by the liver. They go to the liver. Look what the liver does. He will attach this molecule to it, OH, hydroxyl group. Then we have 2 OHE, and we have 4 OHE, and we have 16 OHE. What's 2 mean? Like 2 OH was added, and 4 was added, and 16 was added. You follow me or no? The 2 is good, the 4 is bad, and the 16 is bad. So the 4 can cause cancer, 16 can cause cancer. So we actually, the liver can differentiate between good and bad, and then look what the liver does. The liver will, actually the liver makes the estrogen from cholesterol and from also DHEA. So the cholesterol DHEA makes E1 and E2, and some is good, some is bad, but here's what happened. The liver have enough in it from cruciferous food, Vivix, flavonoids, vitamin E, vitamin C, green tea, magnesium, TMG, vitamin B2, B6, B12, folic acid, and the liver will send those right here to these 2 bad ones and convert them to 2 OH. Which one is that? The good one. Are you following me now? That process, we call it methylation. When you come to the office and you hear we do methylation to clean arteries, or methylation to detoxify the body, or is methylation process we do, it does more, a lot more than just circulation. We actually convert with methylation cancer to normal cell. You follow me or no? And your diet also does that. So if you take synthetic estrogen, it is mostly 4 and 16, which can cause cancer. Naturally, it's going to increase the process of cancer. However, the liver will remove it, and if you take some fibers in the food and acidophilus, it does inhibit the aromatase enzyme that allow these synthetic estrogen to cause cancer. So there are defense right here, and defense right here, and defense also inside the liver itself. What is the good estrogen do? Right here. I will make it short. I will have half an hour more. Don't yawn anymore. Okay. The good estrogen that men and women both makes, and good testosterone, and good progesterone, and good DHA, they increase phagocytosis. Maybe somebody here have heard the word phagocytosis. Can tell me what does it mean? Nobody heard about it? Phagocytosis, when a cell eats another cell. When your own immune cell identifies a cancer cell and go and eat it. It's called phagocytosis, or a virus. So if the more cells that eat foreigners and bad things and toxins, the better we are. You follow me or no? Yeah. Cancer cells love to kill phagocytes. They love to destroy them. In my lecture I gave here one time, about the last time I was here in the immune system, I showed you a picture how the phagocytosis eats other things, and I also showed you a picture how the cancer cell kills the immune system easy. Also increases apoptosis. They call it apoptosis or apoptosis. You probably don't know that either. Apoptosis specifically means other cells. We have white blood cells, we have lymphatic cells, we have mono cells, we have plasma cells, we have like many cells. You heard about them, right? If you didn't, take my word, they are there. So those cells, called lymphatic cells, when they eat cancer cells, only cancer cells, we call the process apoptosis. You put the cancer cells in front of them, you look in the microscope, they just grab it. They will not grab a bacteria, they will not grab a fungus or a mold or candida. Even they're bad, they just go after only cancer cells. That's fantastic. Because we do have a gene called the Nutri gene or oncogene. Oncogene, that's cancer gene, we're born with it. Adam was born with it. Why Adam had a cancer gene? Because if you look at that, what is that baby? Here it is. When you look at that baby right there born, it goes from 1 cell to 2 cell, 4 cells. This process is cancer process. Onco means multiplying. That's what onco means, multiplication. But you see it multiply until it comes up to here, and he grows up to 16, he stopped multiplying. So we have oncogene to make us grow. If you cut a piece of the skin off and you put a Band-Aid, it heals after 6 weeks because the cells multiply and seal. You follow me? So the cancer process is not strange to us, but by being uncontrolled, not controlled at all, it does what it wants. That's the dangerous part of it. So it also does that. Also, this nutrition decreases, you see the arrow down, cell multiplication. Now you understood that one or no? When the cell multiplies means it can become cancer. It inhibits that cell from multiplying. That's all from estrogen, by the way, that we were told it causes cancer, or testosterone or DHEA. The 3 hormones under attack right now that they cause cancer. And if we don't give women and men their testosterone, their DHEA, their natural estrogen, they will age so fast that by 65 they have every disease known in the world. So, they also decreases breast cancer and angiogenesis. Angiogenesis, if you probably wouldn't know what it is because angio means artery, so the cancer cells have the ability to make its own arteries. All the blood in the area come to it and leave the rest of the body. When it does that, it multiplies fast. And estrogen and testosterone and progesterone, or those natural things, inhibits that process. So the soy protein that is in this article, the isoflavone, also inhibits that. Because the soy protein is also makes 2-OH, the good estrogen. The menopausal balance, it makes that. And the menopausal complex right here, we're not going to spend more time in it. It is so, that menopausal balance is such a great product. It has so many things in it, from, you name it, from tannins to flavonoids, to black cohox, to all kinds of things, that it is a good thing that every man and a woman should take a menopausal complex 1 a day. I said every man and a woman. I mean normal man and a normal woman. Okay. Testosterone, however, because I'm going to use my own articles just in case I don't have time to get to the bottom of all the details in front of me right here. Testosterone is fantastic. We measure the level. If it is low, we know testosterone increases circulation, increase muscle tone, increase energy, decrease weight, increase oxygenation, increase sugar transport, means good against diabetes, increase immune system. So in any way, testosterone is extremely important. Unfortunately, I came across in one of my test book, how many pages we have on male hormones?
Like over 1,000.
Huh? No, today.
Oh, today? About
17?
Yeah, something like
that. Yeah, we found 17 pages that I love to share. And he helped me to put them together, and oh, this is going to be great. Of course, I don't have time to talk about that. So in the future, we might have a lecture on male hormones only. We may have a lecture on female hormones only. Because the lecture on hormones, I just want to give you the flavor, the taste, how important it is to pay attention to hormones. You know, the first question I asked you when I walked in, what's a hormone does? And I never answered the question. When you eat food, nutrition, and you breathe oxygen, you produce energy and waste. That's how the car works. You put gasoline, you get oxygen, you have waste, and you have energy. That's how the body works, except the body doesn't have mufflers. So what happened here, the body has something called enzymes to break the food and hormones to transport it. So you got the point right there? Hormones are so simple to figure it and correct it, because you respond to it just like this. Within 2-3 weeks, if you have a hormone deficiency, you will respond. But we have to know what hormone is it we're dealing with. The DHA article you have with you right here, that I just have to give you an idea about it. The DHA, yeah, I think I might have it here. Okay, I use that, thank you. The DHA here is a hormone was discovered, we were told about how good it is about 1996, 98. That hormone was known before that, but by 1996, 98, we realized there is something about it. In the bottom of the article, I'm going to read the bottom of the article. It says, in both human and animals, the decline of DHA, that's your copy right here? Mm-hmm. No, you can have your copy. I can actually say it without reading it. Okay. In both human and animals, a decline of DHA, I have one right here, a decline of DHA production was associated with the aging process and immune depression, increased risk of cancer, loss of sleep, decreased feeling of well-being, and increased mortality. That hormone turned out to be, unfortunately, I don't have the time to go in the chemistry of it, details, how important it is. If you think the pituitary gland is important, that would be number one. The adrenal will be number two. Because adrenal is DHA, the main hormone we discovered. When the DHA was given to the next page, when DHA was given to aged animals, they got mice and they made it old by giving them poison IV, carbon tetrachloride antifreeze IV. They became wrinkly and they start losing hair and they got old. Then they stopped the experiment and they started giving them IV DHA. They became young again. So they figure aging process is really related to chemical accumulation and all that, and then detoxification, getting younger, is removing those chemicals. You follow me now? That's very good news, very simple. So they went ahead and they said, for the lady who's taken the Fasimax or Reclass right there, DHA replacement, number 3, has shown favorable effect on osteoclast. Can you hear me, ma'am, in the back right there? Osteoclast, that is the stuff that prevents osteoporosis. So DHA, if we measure it, and you're supposed to have such an amount, and we give you the natural DHA, which is so expensive, it costs you $4 a month. Replace it, you will have no osteoporosis. You follow me? So you don't need to go through all of this stuff. Let me go to the next point. Low level of DHA. It makes fatigue, increased risk of heart disease and diabetes. I'm still in page 2. Study of in humans showed essentially no toxicity of DHA. You know why no toxicity? Because the only source God gave us so far that we find it in is sunflower seed oil. We cannot find it in anything else yet. So I think what you got to do when you look at the field and you see dandelion and you see colors and you see all this beauty around you, they all have healing elements in it, but we don't know it yet. But one day we will know all that stuff. DHA deficiency may make disease very common. And the next page says, you see the next page said depression? Everybody see that? Here in that page, we are comparing two things. We're comparing depression, people who are depressed because the DHA is low, and taken Effexor and Cymbalta and Prozac and Paxil versus DHA. This study was done in University of Cambridge and University of San Francisco, and shows that DHA made the people feel a lot better than antidepressants. You got to know antidepressants is very addictive. So for me to take you off it and give you DHA, it's got to be done over 3-4 months, because taking a Paxil or Prozac is just like cocaine, like amphetamine, like heroin. You competing with a natural product against heroin, you follow me or no? Then if you want to build that brain, you got to be patient with that patient. Okay, continue with the Paxil, just decrease a little bit, increase the DHA a little bit in estrogen. Now, next month, decrease a little bit, and that is how we reach balance. And psychiatrists get upset, of course, but I don't care. The next issue about DHA, remember the reason I said DHA, because that is the most important hormone in the body. DHA inhibits cancer cell from spreading. You're going to love the last one in the page. DHA protect against brain aging. That is, we talked about estrogen does that, testosterone does that, and now we have another hormone can do that also against brain aging. That's great that you take it, that have no side effects, and unfortunately, men requires between 150 to 300 milligrams a day. Women require between 25 to 50. It depends how their age. If they are very young, they're making lots of other hormones. We have to watch from acne and and pimples in the skin from DHA, because they will get too much testosterone. So DHA also stimulates testosterone production, stimulates sexual activity in men and women both. Next page. DHA saves the skin, builds collagen under the skin. Next page. DHA, immune function improve with DHA. Is that good or bad if the immune is good? Right, good? Okay, let's read just a summary of one here. Those dots I have. DHA increases IGF-1 by 20%. There is a hormone we have inside us called growth hormone. Whenever we get sick, it comes out to make us feel better. Movie stars and actors, they get lots of those shots, but sometimes it causes brain tumors. I think it's better to let the body does it by itself and DHA does that, increased by 20%. Next point, DHA increase the monocytes by 35%. Mono that eats viruses, candida, and certain cancer cells. DHA also increases B immune cell by 29%. Are you guys seen it or not?
Yes.
By 29%. But look at the end of the line. The number increased by 29%. But it says the activity increased by 62%. This means very efficient cell, very efficient system. I hope you understand that. DHA also increased T cells that work against other type of cancer by 40%. DHA increased interferon by 50%. That works against multiple sclerosis, works against hepatitis C, against viruses, against cancer by 50%. DHA increased natural killer cell by 22 to 37%. That's you didn't get one?
I do.
You do, okay. But okay, that's what you need my glasses? Okay. DHA increases killer cell. Remember the word killer cell. That is the cell that travels in the body right now. If I have a cold, I gave you lots of my viruses today, then you take it, your killer cell will receive it in the nose or whatever and kill it right away. By 22 to 37%, but increase the activity by 45%. So this is something we really don't understand. What is the number and activity? Because it is true the number increase, but they are more potent, they're more aggressive, they eat so fast. You follow the point? So I think there is something to it we don't know yet, but it's great news. Because the last point, no adverse effect was seen from DHA. So this was about the DHA, but the rest of the next articles, I'm not going to discuss it. This is the article in page 1 out of 9. You see it says DHA and has more science. This is for people here who are biochemists or doctors or nurses. If you want to know the scientific data behind the DHA, then the pharmacology is there, and the metabolism of it is there, and clinical studies, everything is there. So we are here to prove that a hormone like DHA, and close to the end of the article you see lots of publications, you probably have seen that already in the very end, close to the end. So there's so many universities done research, you've seen that, close to the very end, like one page before the end maybe. You see those, all these universities? Everybody?
Yes.
Okay. But the next page after that, remember, I added that. This has nothing to do with DHA. I just added that. It's called methylation. What is methylation? Means converting cancer cell to normal cell, detoxifying the body, rebuilding the arteries, rebuilding the heart, rebuilding the memory. It's called methylation or detoxification. We do that through nutrition. If we don't do methylation, to remove the homocysteine, that is, the page says homocysteine is a toxic amino acid that's present in everyone. So every one of us have it, and we must remove it. The only way you can remove it is vitamins. Vitamin B1, 2, 3, 5, 6, folic acid, and 12, and another herb from a tree called TMG, trimethylglycine, from a bark from a tree in India, because it has, it's a tri, means the three, methyl means methyl, glycine, amino acid, so it can donate one methyl to one homocysteine. Well, maybe I should do a picture of that. It looked like you lost. Okay. This is the cysteine. That's the amino acid you get from beans. This cysteine, something happened to us in the last 200 years. in the world. That cysteine got polymerized with another cysteine. So the regular amino acid became plastic, became crazy glue. So when it travels, it clogs all the arteries, every place. We realize that. So drug companies spent 30 years to try to make a drug. They could not. So we came in, somebody like me came in, and we said, okay, fine. We're going to use vitamin B2 and 3 and 5 and 6 and folic acid and 12 and TMG, trimethylglycine, that's an herb from a tree. And tri means 3, methyl means CH3, and that glycine is amino acid, so this glycine can donate one CH3 right here, and can donate another one to this one right here. This one is free with CH3, this is free with CH3. Now we have two cysteine, new cysteines, and we have glycine, then we converted a poison to normal. You follow me? We didn't even remove anything. We converted bad to good. Is this clear or not clear so far? But TMG doesn't do that only. B12 also does that. Folic acid also does that. What happens if we don't do that? If we don't do that, you read the rest of the article when you get home. But in the last page, right here, the last page, in the middle section, unfortunately, the copy is a little bit bad, but I'm going to read it for you. How too much homocysteine can lead to dementia. Can you read that title? Okay. Numerous studies were done on nuns. Vascular effect, for example, the nun study and aging showed that there's more Alzheimer's disease and dementia in the nuns that they had too much homocysteine. And the one after that, DNA damage. There is more DNA multiplication damage for people who have homocysteine, means more cancer. So if you can counter both Alzheimer and the cancer using simple things like B2, 3, 5, and 6, folic acid and 12 in certain percentage, we do it in a way in my clinic. We make it in a very small syringe, 1 cc. We mix it in a way it doesn't crystallize, and it costs like $15. And the person gives himself the shot once a month, once a week, to keep the homocysteine from building up. That's not expensive at all. The DHA costs $4. This costs $15. You know, nutrition, even Shaklee product, they're so cheap. You know, what you get in a vitalizer, what you get in the Vivix, what you get in those, it's so cheap compared to just one emergency room admission. And there are other things that there are other nutrients in the market. Shaklee has not done it yet, like DHA. There is one called PXP. There is one called humanic acid. All of these things, I'm doing study on them to see how effective they are in combination with Shaklee product to make people healthy. Remember, I don't have any interest in neither companies. I'm just doing it for the sake of God to create better society that we can live in. The last thing I want to say, and there is a process called ECP we do. And if you want more information on that, you have to call the office, because it's a new machine that it does. It's a new machine that it does unclog build new arteries for the people who have syndrome X, that have obesity around their waist, or they have obesity in their arteries. And of course, when I find the last one, I'm not going to find it, but that's okay. Anyway, we really don't have time to go through everything I want to say. There is, oh, here it is. And then the last one is these things, that daggers that affect the heart. All of this natural stuff we talked about, hormones and that, help all of these things. If you're going to help that and help cancer and help quality of life, what do you expect the patient will say? Of course, they're going to be happy. And this is why I'm going to say that if you look at the old Vitalizer with all the stuff in it, that is a fantastic product. You take one strip a day. If they have the CoQ10 in it, that would be even better. You can take that. Once you take that, if you want to add something else, you can add the protein, soy protein, because it's anti-cancer. It converts the E4 and E16 to E2. Now you remember that. And also you can pay attention to this. And when we talk about omega-3 now, next year is going to be different. Now we have discovered a new discovery, that the omega-3 and the surface of the oceans, that's fantastic. If you really watch what God makes in this world, it just blows your mind. In the top was salmon and sardines and all that, and we like the omega-3. We talked about it for years, right? And that's good for the brain, for the eye, for all that. Now we went to the bottom of the ocean. We discovered that the tiny baby shrimp called the krill have omega-3 also, but only against arthritis. It will not help the heart, but help arthritis. They both omega-3. So now we don't know, as a chemist, how can two products have the same molecule, the same structure, one good for the eye and the heart and this and circulation, and the other only good for joints? I don't know. All I can say praise God, because I don't know. I think it just, when you see that big whale open his mouth in the bottom like this, and eating all these little krills, and you can put your hand in it, and that's the same whale that swallowed Jonah and then put him in the shore because he had no teeth. Naturally, he had lots of air, inside the mouth, and he made him live for about a couple hours or 10 hours. And then, but there are animals, you see them like that, and if they swallow like a human, they will spit him out because they eat only krill. They do. I don't know how many tons, but I believe they do. They take a lot. So the other thing is this here. I think Vivix is a fantastic product for energy. We're going to be talking about that when we talk about fatigue in the next lecture. And thank you so much. And that's the end of the lecture. Yeah, exactly. Okay, we will take questions from the floor. And after that, we will take questions in private right here. So I'm going to spend about 10 minutes in the floor, questions, and 10 minutes right here. Start from the front to the back. Yes?
If a woman has had a total hysterectomy with the ovaries removed, is there another organ that
No.
is creating estrogen,
No.
progesterone, testosterone?
I'm going to repeat the question. If a woman, they removed her ovary for any reason, cancer or polycystic ovary or whatever, she has to take estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone DHA. But it has to be measured. At least in the beginning, twice a year. You don't want to go over, you don't want to be under. Now, if a woman over 45 or 50, she will not have enough. So we have to measure it anyway, because the ovary is dying. So we have, hormone imbalance causes more divorce than any other disease. Hormone imbalance, when a woman, she doesn't get satisfaction from her husband, and she have no closeness to God. Even some of them go to church, even, they go out of the marriage. And I've seen that. As a doctor, I heard it. I will not say the names, but I will give them hard time about it. And men the same way. When they think their wives are dry and they're not interested like that, they don't think the reason are hormones, or the reason maybe communication is not There, they just go and run away. The grass, it doesn't look green on the other side. Actually, it stinks. So I would say that take care of your hormones, and if you have problem affecting you in your private life, sexual life, then it is something you have to talk to me in private on the phone. And any information you give me is completely confidential. You follow me? Okay. So that's the answer to your question. Yes, ma'am.
Is there a brand of the DHEA to buy?
They're all the same.
What is it called?
They're all the same.
Oh, they're all the same?
We have
you
not.
You said natural.
They're all natural.
Oh, okay.
They're all natural, but they are. Don't believe life extension, all the stuff that they said their product better. That's all baloney. They're all the same. I analyzed all of them. If you get from Swanson, you get from you get from this or that. They all. I think you just get it. Well, they cannot make it synthetic. It's so cheap to make from sunflower seed. So that's why they sell it for a very cheap price. But you got to know the blood level, because if you have too much of any hormone, you can hurt yourself.
And also you mentioned krill. Is that the krill oil that people?
That's the krill oil, yes. But unfortunately, my wife buys it and takes it, but I find out the money I'm paying for it was so much. So I told her, I don't think it's the time to start taking krill yet. I did. She said, I pay for it myself. Well, she's a nurse, and she said, okay, if you don't pay for it, I pay for it. Well, I told her, go ahead and pay for it. And she did. So in any case, he reminded me to put my phone number and my name right here. Look at that. Is it, look, the only thing here is not, I wouldn't encourage you to do, is to use the office number. I would say that for appointment in the office is okay, but to talk to me on my cell phone, my private line, I answer everybody. 847-571-3914. My cell number, yes. I answer all the messages from all over the world. I got a call from Bombay, India, about 5 days ago. I saw you, somebody wrote an article about you on the computer, and I have this fibromyalgia, can you help me? I said, sure. Send me your reports. And then he said, how much is it going to cost? I said, nothing. I will tell you what to do, what vitamins to take, what to do about it. And and he said, why don't you charge me? I told him, because it makes me feel good. To help somebody I don't even know. You follow me? And that's really what we are here about in this earth, to help each other. Any other question? Yes?
Just have one quick one. I don't want to do this bone thing that much, but I know that babies are all born perfect, but not all. When there's hereditary things happen.
Yeah, I didn't want to touch that point. You're right. There are babies born retarded or have disability.
Right.
We're not talking about that.
No.
If the mother's taking cocaine and the baby has a problem, the baby with omega-3 can correct 90% of hereditary problem. If you're talking about Down syndrome or Mongolism or something, there's nothing I can do about it.
I'm talking about osteochondrosis. That is my disability.